Hey everybody, Steve Pruitt here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I wanted to review and tell you about these incredible drums today. These are the WTS, the Welch Tuning System Artistry Series drums. Okay, they're made by a guy named Sam Welch and his team, and really, really incredible guys, incredible people and incredible instruments. So, there's a lot of you that kind of look at this and say, well, that's just a gimmick. Or, well, I mean, is it practical? Is it useful? And all that stuff. And let me tell you, I've had these drums in my studio for the last 5 months, and they are incredibly useful. And they are completely practical, and they actually enhance my music making experience, and I will tell you why. Well, I guess before I put it down, I'll show you some aspects of the drum. Obviously, first and foremost, you see all these cables, right? Now, I know what you're thinking. It's like, well, how strong are they? Well, Sam assures me that we will break the head long before these break. So that kind of gives you an idea of how strong this is. Now, here's the interesting thing about this is that, this is a lot like tuning a bass. That's what it looks like. And it's a really cool system. And I got to tell you, this thing does not budge. It does not, it does not waver on tuning. Like if I set it somewhere, it stays there. I've done recording sessions where this thing has stayed there for, I don't know, like a couple of days. I've left it here, and hasn't budged at all. So it's been really incredible. And I've tuned it super low. I've tuned it super high, and it's super crazy reliable. And it's just fun to use, Why not make the experience fun? Now, candidly, I kind of think that a lot of the drum market has become stale. It's like people just reinventing the wheel, and there's just a new tom mount or a new color or, whatever. Nothing wrong with that. But when I saw this, Sam from WTS, actually asked me to come by their booth at NAMM. I did, and I was completely blown away by the drums. Now, I'll take these off because I want to show you what impressed me. What I really liked about the drums, actually my first impression was a jazz tuning. And as you guys know, I'm a jazz drummer at heart. So they sound really good for jazz. I saw a review for these in Modern Drummer magazine. I don't remember who reviewed it, and he said they choked up when you tune them high, but I don't know. That sounds pretty great to me, and I think any drum loses resonance whenever you tune it up high like this. So, gonna have to agree to disagree on that one. Yeah, so these really great, and now to be able to tune something fast is one thing. Okay, like I've seen some other products that kind of advertise this similar kind of thing, but that's not what really interests me the most, because if we're, I mainly work from my studio, so however long it takes to get the sound that I want is really what's most important to me. So I don't really mind the time so much. However, what these can do, I guess the best metaphor I can put it is, if you're a guitar player, and let's say you have a tuner, and then you tune it, then like then you have a piano player also on stage, but they can't retune the piano. Piano tuner's gone to lunch or gone away. Then, you know, are you just going to stay with the tuning that you have and just play out of tune with the piano player? No, you're going to adjust a little bit, right? Because you want everything to sound right. These drums do a similar thing. And so I can record these with a track, and I can, you know, I can say, okay, well, the register is kind of what I want, but I can kind of adjust a little bit to kind of make the frequencies, you know, like I can place the drum pitch at a frequency where it kind of blends well with the track better. And I can do it like very, very micro detailed about it. Whereas if you have the traditional tuning rods, you know, it's a little bit harder to do. And then you can't do the bottom head as well. Okay, so that's, as a musician, what really impresses me about what's going on here. And the tone of the drums is incredible, and that's probably due to the fact that I think he said this has 90% weight, less weight on the shell from hardware as normal drums that have tension rods. And that's because the only thing that's really on the shell, that's drilled into the shell, are the snare, you know, the snare strainer and the butt of that, but then also this tuning device. But all the lugs, as you can see, they're not drilled in there, okay? Which, that's pretty great. So, oops. So this gives it kind of the nice, warm tone, and really, I really think every single turn sounds great. Every single turn has a great tone to it. So anyway, let's just take it through its paces, because this is what I do in my studio on a daily basis. So I had it kind of high, and by the way, let's just acknowledge how sweet this sounds high. Okay, it sounds really great there. So now, man, let's take these suckers low. So. Pro tip, whenever you tune it lower, you gotta tune the snares lower too. Yeah, so you see even right there, I got these low and thuddy, but this one wasn't, I wanted it a little higher. So I adjusted it. It's still got the thud, but it fits better within the pitch range. Of course, can't forget the old 16. Oh man, that's just fat and splatty, and you can get all sorts of grease on that. So, and that's what I love. So, and it's just, I mean, I mentioned earlier, like the time, how fast it does it is not really the main issue, but it is pretty great to do it pretty quick. And you know, now I can put it for maybe a middle of the range kind of thing. snare's a little tighter. I mean, it's really amazing. It's really just a fun experience just to sit down and mess with the tuning like this. And it really helps enhance my experience as a musician, because I can, of all the tracks that are sent to me, I can really fine tune what I'm doing within that track, right? And the bass drum too, you can, I will say, let's see. Yeah, I mean, with the bass drum, as you can see, it's a little, like if you have a pillow inside or anything like that, it's a little harder to tell about the tuning, but it still sounds great the way it is. And when you put it under a mic and you kind of get the little nuances, you can get some things out of it. But it's not as apparent as these drums. However, I like putting like an Evans UV1 with no ring in it or anything on both sides, and then tune it wide open, and then you can really hear the difference on there, and it's really, really fantastic. But again, but for applications, like real world applications, that doesn't work for everything, but it sounds awesome. Eventually I'm going to get an 18-inch bass drum, and those are really great for this kind of thing, especially for jazz and all that. And it's really great. And obviously, I would maybe put another piece of tape on this. I would alter these a little bit depending on the session or whatever. But man, if you're a working drummer and you needed to go to Al Green to James Brown in a split of a second, you really could. They're talking, they're about to announce the next song, then you just crank it up like that, and then they're ready. 1, 2, 3. Well, that's not as high as I like it. Yeah. So it's really that part of it's really, really great. And I will say this is a super snom, okay? The snare and tom combination, because with a snom, normally, you got to adjust both sides of the head, right? Like you got to do the tension rods and, the traditional way. And that's really hard to do, and I see a lot of guys often don't change the tuning of the bottom head, they just change the top. But with this one, since it tunes both at the same time, let's just compare here. Oops. Woo-ha! Well, let's see here. I have a snare drum over here. Let's try that. But then you got your still splat. So even if the whole kit's incredible, but even if you just put a snare on, this is a really valuable instrument to have on your kit, just because there's so many possibilities that are instant, right? And so I really, really strongly recommend it. So go to my Instagram page, my YouTube channel. You can check out all the different tunings and stuff that I do on there. I'll post more stuff on this. And yeah, and one last thing, I kind of want to demystify some stigmas that are around these drums. These drums, first of all, everyone says, well, you can't tune the bottom head. How do you do the pitch difference? Well, there's 3 different scenarios here that most people fall under. Okay, now if you're like most people and you want your bottom head tuned a little bit higher than your batter side, then you're going to get a coated head on top, which has a lower fundamental pitch and a clear single ply head on the bottom, or you're going to use a 2-ply head of any sort on the batter, and then the resonant is just a clear single ply. If that's the case, if you put the same amount of tension, then the bottom head's naturally going to go a little higher anyways, which has been perfect. And as you can hear, the pitch doesn't droop. It does exactly what I want it to do. Now, if you're one of those people that wants both heads the same, well, put the same heads on both sides, and then you get that sort of effect too. And if you want your head to droop down, or you're into that sound, you can flip the drum over, or you can put the heads on different sides. So I really think that most people fall within one of those categories. So come at me, bro. That's all I'm saying. These drums are not meant to replace tension rods. They're meant to create their own lane, and I believe that's what they're doing. It's really exciting to see what the possibilities hold. And yeah, let me know. Comment down below. Let me know what you think of what's your impression of these drums, what questions you have, what stigmas you would have against this sort of thing. And as musicians, let's be open-minded. Let's just keep moving forward. Let's kind of think outside the box here, and that's what really excites me about this. Is it really is outside the box, but it's also a hint of the past, like with Civil War rope drums and stuff. So, all right, I've babbled on long enough. Let's hear these things in action. Thanks, guys. See you on the next one.